Exactly 14 days remaining until the fight. The legend, the star, has arrived in Tokyo, Japan. Cool boy Stephen Fulton has finally landed in Japan, and he was already getting all the attention he deserved. People seem to love him out there and understand that he is a great fighter. A lot of people in my comment sections were mad that I was bringing up race as one of the reasons that Stephen Fulton is going to win the fight. I'll be gladly to break down other reasons why I think cool boy Stephen Fulton will win the fight. But as I've already explained in my past videos about why I think he's going to win the fight, Inoue fans still find a way to disagree and say disrespectful things about Fulton and say that he has no chance to win the fight. The reason why I think cool boy Stephen Fulton is going to beat Naoya Inoue is because, for one, he is the naturally much bigger man. And we know in boxing, a good little man does not beat a good big man. That is number one. Naoya Inoue started his career at 108. Stephen Fulton started at 122, the weight that it will be at. That's not always good for the fighter to stay at the same weight his whole career, but Stephen Fulton will be well prepared for this. I think he's very comfortable at that weight. Naoya Inoue is also comfortable at that weight. However, he is the much smaller man. If you see him standing next to Stephen Fulton, he looks much smaller. A lot of people love to bring up Naoya Inoue's knockout power, and I respect it. But you also have to remember that Naoya Inoue was knocking out a lot of his opponents at 108, 112, 115, and 118. Cool boy Stephen Fulton's a lot bigger than that. And he's not just bigger than that. He's used to fighting guys bigger than him. So Omar Figueroa, a lot of people like to say he wasn't that skilled. But Omar Figueroa was huge. And honestly could fight at 130 very easily. Naoya Inoue is going to be a lot smaller than cool boy Stephen Fulton's and Omar Figueroa. So I think Stephen Fulton will be prepared for whatever power shots he does bring early on in the fight. And I think if the rounds go into the later rounds, I think it gives the advantage to Fulton. Now, we'll find out early in that fight if Inoue's power is able to really take Stephen Fulton off of his game. If it doesn't take him off of his game, I think he'll be in great hands to win that fight. Now, like I've already stated in my past videos, the one thing that Stephen Fulton might have to worry about in this fight is the judges. I do think that they will rob him if it's a relatively close fight. However, a lot of people in my comment sections don't even think it'll go to distance. They're saying that Inoue is going to knock Stephen Fulton out in 3 rounds, 6 rounds. I've heard 7 rounds, 8 rounds. I mean, it's crazy the respect that Stephen Fulton's getting. I mean, he's never been knocked down. He's never been stopped. I don't understand why people are saying that he's going to get stopped by Inoue. But people are entitled to their opinions, and that is something that's going to be determined. But I stand as follows. My prediction stands as follows. I think that cool boy Stephen Fulton is going to win the fight. He's going to take home all the belts, and people are going to be very surprised and not going to know what to say after the fight. And in other boxing news, Terrance Crawford and Errol Spence are also 2 weeks away. And these boys both look mentally prepared. They haven't been talking too much smack. They've both just been working. I couldn't be more excited about this fight. Now, when I made my original prediction, I predicted that Terrance Crawford was going to win this fight. I'm much more of a Terrance Crawford fan. I think he's the better boxer. And I'm definitely pulling for Terrance Crawford all the way. I might even put a small bet on him. However, when it comes down to my prediction, I'm kind of having second thoughts about my Terrance Crawford pick, only because I do think that Errol Spence is the much bigger man, and he still is a great fighter. We have to keep in mind how great Errol Spence is. And sometimes when you're so much bigger naturally, even though they're fighting at the same weight, you guys have to hear me out on this one. I mean, the advantage usually goes to the bigger fighter. So, I mean, I'm still giving Terrance Crawford a good chance to win this fight, but this fight is absolutely 50-50. I wouldn't be mad if you took Crawford. I wouldn't be mad if you took Spence. I'm going to stick with Crawford because I don't like changing my predictions in the middle of the fight. But I will tell you truthfully that I am having second thoughts about that prediction. And I'm starting to think Errol Spence might win that fight.